everybody, Chris Stokes Custom Fitness Personal Training Studio here in Amarillo, and just wanted to give you some kind of pointers and tips about the TRX row. There are so many different ways to perform this exercise that first of all we want to make sure that we're doing it right, but that we're choosing the right one for your current fitness level, your current needs, and also just kind of what's going to be the best challenge for you. So it doesn't have to be a so-called TRX, it can be any suspension trainer that you have. And if you're using one at home, definitely use the door anchor, put it on the right side of the door, make sure the door is secured, that it's locked if you can, that nobody comes in that door, all those kinds of good things. I'll be using a ceiling anchor today, which I like a little bit better. Obviously we've got a little more versatility with it and we've got the option to use it here, but at home you've probably just got that door anchor, go with it. So if you've got the opportunity to use a ceiling anchor, you've now got 360 degrees that your body is being pulled in. It wants to rotate, so you're having to fight against that. That's anti-rotation. It's causing a lot of muscles to work against that rotation to keep you stabilized. And so that actually empowers your workout just a little bit more. It just kind of fuels up some extra bonus contractions, if you will, and helps your body to get more of a workout. So we're going to go over kind of basic to more advanced, and then I'll give you a few extra options here too. So we would want our suspension trainer at a place to where here in a moment that we're comfortable with, but first you have to know what to do with your feet, right? So if you haven't been in suspension training long, then you want to know that you've got really 3 different foot positions that you can be in. You can have your feet hip width apart, which is going to give you the widest space and the most security, the most stabilization throughout the movement. So if you're new to suspension training, then you want to be sure to have that there. If you want to challenge yourself, you start to bring those feet together, now that rotation ability, even if you're attached into your door, your body's going to be more likely to want to rotate, so you're going to have to start working on that anti-rotation. So then from there, if you're really awesome, really want to progress forward, then we start to lift one leg out in front of us. Okay, now we could do the same thing to the side, to the back, just lifting a leg off the floor, but making sure that our focus is still on that stabilization, so that as that one leg's now on the floor, your body's really going to want to rotate and have to fight against that, okay? All right, so for our row, the most important thing to remember as you're rowing in any position is number 1, to engage that core. So whenever we don't have our stomach in nice and tight, when we're not engaging our core stabilizers all the way around, back and front, then our body is more likely to get injured. So our core acts like a brick wall against our spine to hold it in place. Without that there, the spine starts to sway, we end up with back injuries. So you don't want to do that, especially if you're not used to doing this exercise or you're pushing yourself to a new level. So we want to make sure that the core is in nice and tight to maintain a strong straight line. And then we want to remember that the whole purpose of this row, actually, even though it originates through the arms, and we're going to get a lot of benefit there, is to end by squeezing those shoulder blades. So we actually start by squeezing the shoulder blades, just to remind you, that's the focus. We want to get those shoulder blades back and together and then use the arms with it, okay? So way to set up number 1 is to actually start out with straight arms. We walk back to where we have tension on the strap. We always keep tension on our strap when we're doing suspension training. And then from there, we simply walk forward to about a 45-degree angle. So this would be the easiest version because we're starting out extended, and then from there we pull up to the strap without losing tension. So if you come up and you lose that tension, it starts to get wobbly, or you feel like you bounce back and forth, you're not far enough down. So then you want to walk your feet further out, okay? But we come back, we squeeze those shoulder blades together, pull up. Take it back, try not to lose the squeeze. So you don't want to drop back into this rounded position. We want to maintain that squeeze, maintain that long spine, pull up, and take it back. So you'll notice that the stomach's in tight, so this back is staying level. What I see a lot of people doing is lifting with their hips here and arching through that back to get there, and also that bounce back with the lack of tension on the strap. So that would be the easiest way to perform that. You could have feet apart, you could have them together, you could go one leg. When you're ready to progress forward, then we start the straps. Instead of starting it with straight arms here, we actually start it at our chest here, and then we walk down to our 45. So now we're a little bit lower. We've got a little more ways to go, and now we're at the top of the movement instead of the bottom. So we're going to take it back into our extension here, squeeze the shoulder blades, pull back out. Same thing, stomach in nice and tight. Shoulder blades don't round out at the bottom. We keep them nice and tight back, so that the shoulder blades are pulling together the entire time. We get a great upper body workout there. Now, as you're moving through that, depending on how your foot stance is, you might start to feel the legs working as well. So if your feet are in this hip width, probably not so much, but by the time that you get to a one-legged stance, you've got to have a soft knee. That quad's going to be working, the hamstrings going to be working, inner and outer thighs are working. the leg is working to hold you up. Now remember, if you do one leg, you have to do the other leg, right? So at least get in 2 sets, one on one leg, one on the other, or do half and half of one set. So if you're doing 12 reps, get in 6 on one leg, 6 on the other. Stay balanced. So muscle imbalance is usually something that causes a lot of people a lot of chronic pain, so we don't want to cause that. All right, so you've gotten good with that. Well, what do we do next? Well, next we're going to show you, I'm going to have to show you at an angle just due to the camera here. Normally, if you're on a ceiling anchor, you would go directly beneath it, but this actually works out well for us because at home, you can't get directly under your door, right? So instead, we would go out at an angle. So what we would do is we take this down into a supine position, lying on our back, and we would lengthen our straps out to where they're long enough that we can reach them, but not so long that it's allowing us to have too much room to grab. So give me just a moment here to lengthen this out. All right, so we're going to find a point where we can be, again, shoulders slightly off the ground. This is still just a little bit high, but I'm at that angle for you to be able to see. So shoulders slightly off the ground where you're really having to reach for it. When our feet hip width apart, we're going to take the chest up to the hands, but again, we're going to keep a strong stomach in tight so everything goes up together. And then right back down. You could touch the floor to modify, or you could do several reps in a row without touching the floor, which is why we want those hands up a little bit higher. So either of those options would work out just fine. The next way to do that would be to do the same thing with straight legs. So you would have your legs straight out on the mat as you were pulling up and down. Same position, everything stays the same. So from there, if you want to challenge yourself, you could go one leg, you go feet together. You could also elevate the feet, possibly on a ball or a step or something like that, to change the percentage of body weight that you're lifting. Remember that anytime you're working with a suspension trainer, you're actually lifting a percentage of your body weight. So to increase that weight, we have to lift the other part a little bit higher to put more weight into the hands or the legs, depending on what's using the handles at the time. So those are some different row positions that you could use. There's a lot going on in that position, so you definitely want to choose the one that's the right challenge for you. If you try to start out on the floor with straight legs and you haven't really done too much on the suspension trainer, you may be in the wrong position and you may get hurt rather than getting benefit. So if you want results, start out at the top and work your way down. If you do the top and you do it for 30 seconds, no problem at all, didn't have to stop, didn't have to really think on it too much, go to the next one, try the next progression. So each time just finding the one that works best for you, making sure that it's the right exercise. So maybe you're at a point that one of those 4 is the perfect fit for you. Well, go for it. If you're at a point that you're beyond those 4 and you're really looking to build some strength and some muscle tone and you just don't feel like those challenge you anymore, try doing a superset where you do a set of exercises for the back and the biceps before that. It could be suspension trainer or it could be weights or something else. But try that and then come straight into this set. Leave no more than about 10 to 15 seconds between, and that way then you'll be really fatiguing the muscle groups basically, using the same muscles, just in a little different way. So try that superset out if you feel like one of these 4 just isn't the right fit for you. I'd love to help you out more with customizing some exercise form technique to your needs, being able to create a custom program around exercise, nutrition, and lifestyle modification. That's kind of what we do here and what our team does. So if that's of interest to you, feel free to comment below or give us a call, 806-322-3188. And I hope you got something good out of today. We'll talk to you soon.